to your health and to the most delicious sounding amplifier I have heard so far. This is a long-term review about the Schiit Audio Jotunheim 2, version 2. And before this pineapple juice, fresh pineapple juice is done, I am going to tell you my personal experience and about the sound characteristics of this desktop headphone amplifier. So, there was already many other very good reviews about technical stuff and what this can do and the back interface and everything. So there's obviously larger and smaller versions and cheaper, more expensive, all kinds of. I think this is a very good sweet spot amplifier. By the way, if you think, hey, wait a minute, I've seen this amplifier elsewhere, but not in this version, it's true, you're right. This is a very strange and limited edition version. It has to do with these modifications that I've done myself. If you want to know more about that, there is a link below that will bring you to the other video that I made. It's about this modification of this unit to make it last longer and give it the ventilation that it deserves, because it's a very hot beast, especially if you drive it with certain headphones at high volumes. In summary, I can say that the sound signature, the characteristic of the vocal representations, which is what we humans are very sensitive to. Anybody can make some synthesizers and, oh yeah, it sounds everywhere as the same artificially synthesized music, and punchy and nice bass and clear cymbals, but it's vocals, female vocals and male vocals, that when represented and reproduced, we are most sensitive to. Just like we are visually very sensitive to whether a picture or a drawing is natural-like or very fake-like. If we see it, if we see how faces are drawn, that's much more difficult to distinguish than if you draw like artificial objects. That's why synthesized music is not best to judge how well and how natural and how to say convincing. That's the word I search for. How convincing does an amplifier, given that you have a very good headphone and you have a very good DAC, digital audio converter, you have everything really top-notch quality, but you just need an amplification, then what you do. And I tried several different amplifiers by NAIM as well as by Topping. For example, the NAIM V1 DAC as well as the Topping DX7 Pro, which is highly regarded and very popular on the internet. But I found those, especially the Topping, I found, which is apples and pears comparison, because the Topping DX7 Pro is a built-in DAC and headphone amplifier, so it does like a lot of things at once. This one, in fair comparison, also has a built-in DAC, but I think the built-in DAC of this unit is really not that its strongest position at all. I think its strongest position is the amplification. I don't even use the internal DAC. I completely bypass it. As you can see, this is the middle button. If I switch it to top, then it will use the internal DAC, which I don't use. I have of course tried it. I've of course tested thoroughly, but no, my external separate DAC unit does a much better job in converting the USB digital and converting it to analog sound. So I use this unit only for the amplification, and it does a tremendous good job. It's the best headphone amplifier I've ever heard, and that's why I'm sharing this video with you. There is a certain enjoyment of using this amplifier, and especially after my modification, to let it breathe, because who wants to suffocate your own lovely amplifiers? What kind of an audiophile are you? You are not an audiophile if you allow your equipment to suffocate. I think a true audiophile would rather hold their own breath and let their equipment breathe than vice versa. So this unit, with its beautifully dampened, very large Japanese Alps volume potentiometer, gives you first and foremost, because this is the interface with the, as you touch the unit, this is the only thing you do when you interact with the unit, gently lowering and raising the volume. It's a very, very nice experience. I would say the user interface, this brushed aluminum, it's very easy to clean, and gives a very precise control. Also at a very, very low volumes, sometimes in the cheaper volume pots, they if this very low volume, then immediately you hear some cracking, or maybe the left channel is lower and then the right channel, and then at some point they get to on par. Like, but with this Japanese made Alps potentiometer, it shouts quality, and at any level that you set the volume at, both left and right go perfectly in proportion with each other, and there is never ever any cracking sound, and it's just dead silent, and the volume is maintained really nicely. So that's the first thing I wanted to say. Some people maybe say, oh, the volume feels well built, but it's more than that. It's excellent. I bought this myself, and I really did not expect this quality. I had in the past a very high expectation of the Topping DX7 Pro, the DAC headphone amplifier combo, the other one, but I must say that although the unit felt very substantial and densely built, with a beautiful OLED display and this digital tuck, this like digital volume bar, the experience was faltered in several ways. First of all, the interface with the volume, if you like gently turn the volume, then it went like this, like tuck, and then sometimes the volume went like a bit up or went down again, and so it was very imprecise. The volume was just a disaster. Also, the volume bottom is very small, so you have to have like really tiny hands, like it's like a small, it's not really well designed. Then the sound quality, I felt, since I paid so much for it, I thought, well, whoa, it's going to be, like an external DAC, it's going to be much better, but it wasn't. To my surprise, even though the placebo effect wanted me to believe that, this is much better, I'm hearing more, details and more music, but no. And I give it like a lot of time, and I try to make I wanted to love it. I wanted to, but it couldn't. My ears just trust your ears. That's the lesson I learned. Trust your ears, and if you feel, oh shit, this is, it's a nuisance, and you don't want to listen anymore, you're gonna stop the music, then you just then you are right, then your ears are right. And in my case, it meant that I just got very quickly fatiguing ears, and I couldn't listen for long times. And so that set me on a quest, and I went, in search and NAIM DAC V1, and which is a very old but very well built, like a tank headphone amplifier with built-in DAC. So I searched, and then I came to this headphone amplifier, and I bought this, and immediately I heard, wow, this is what I've been looking for. Of course, you have to have like the synergy of the system is the most important. Your headphone, this headphone wants this amplifier works best with that, source of audio. So yeah, it really depends on what you are connecting. For me, from my system, I am happy to say that for my desktop headphone, high fidelity, truly transformational high fidelity audio, I am happy to have settled with this Schiit Audio Jotunheim 2. I wonder if there are people who have had the same experience as me, whom after a really long search came to this conclusion as well. Probably there are other really good headphone amplifiers, cheaper and more expensive. Just the way this unit is built, it is so minimalistic, and at the same time each component just glows quality, and it's the selection of the components is just so top notch, and so simple and easy to modify, as you can see, and easy to control. And so I really like the design of the unit, but much more importantly, the sound characteristic of this unit is what sets this apart for me. So this is my long-term review of the Schiit Audio Jotunheim 2. Yeah, it's for me, it's for now, it's an end game. It's the end of my search for a compact, high fidelity desktop headphone amplifier. I would like to know, what is your experience? Do you have the same? Do you have a different headphone amplifier that for you is the end game? I would like to know. And maybe this video helps you to give this a try, or I don't know, if you hesitated between the topping and this, maybe that will help you out that way, right?